Prenups are not a red flag in New Jersey. Here's what you should know about prenups. I'm David Wildstein. I've been doing prenuptial agreements throughout my career, and no two prenups are alike. It's not cookie cutter because there's a lot of give and take to make it work and to get it done. Years ago, when I did prenups, it was mainly for wealthy people, and young people had no interest. In the last several years, there's been an emergence of prenups among younger people who apparently have a lot of money they've accumulated or are fearful of the failure of a marriage. Now, people have no problem in obtaining insurance. They obtain life insurance, medical insurance, car insurance, but when it comes to a prenup, they don't realize that it's a form of insurance against a failed marriage. So you might say, well, what are the requirements if I have a prenup? And it's not as complicated as it seems, although many prenups are poorly drafted and they are set aside by a court. But if you follow the basics, and it's all in the statute, the prenup will likely succeed. It must be in writing, and it must be signed by the parties. The parties need not have counsel. I recommend that you obtain counsel because at least you'll follow the required items that are necessary for it to become valid. There must be, and this is the most important thing in the agreement, full and fair disclosure of the income, assets, and debts of the party. It must be voluntary. You can't be coerced or pressured in any way when you sign a prenuptial agreement. As a general rule, it's wise to do a prenuptial agreement well in advance of the marriage itself. Let me tell you about the contents of a prenup agreement. It varies from client to client, to couple to couple. Very often, someone has a business before they got married. So you can address in the prenuptial agreement that that business that increases in value will be exempt from equitable distribution. There are issues of alimony that may come up. A home may be purchased in joint names, or it may be in one party's name, or it may be a home that someone owned before they got married. Rights upon death. The easiest way to deal with rights upon death is if we have life insurance. They're inexpensive and it's an easy way to deal with death issues. Counsel fees can be addressed in a prenuptial agreement. You cannot deal with custody. It's against public policy to put in an agreement the amount of child support or the custody arrangement that'll take place in the event of a divorce. In New Jersey, we have what's called a right to an elective share. That means if you survive your spouse, even if your spouse has a will that left assets to someone else, you as their spouse have a right to approximately 1/3 of the estate of the deceased person. And that's very relevant. We want to address that when we deal with a prenuptial agreement. All of the items that I've spoken about are helpful to save problems in the future if there's a divorce. Clients will meet with me and they'll present a prenup agreement prepared by their prospective spouse. I'm not a fan of someone saying, this is it, take it or leave it. I don't feel comfortable, and I'm going to tell my client exactly that. I'm happy to represent you. I'm happy to answer all your questions and help you put the best prenup together that's reasonable under the circumstances.